Assalamu alaikum. So I feel like I should introduce myself as well. I have been coming to Sunday school since I was 8 years old, and now I'm in my 40s, and I feel like I'm still in Sunday school, so don't feel like you'll ever leave. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This is an amazing gathering of people. This is very inspirational, I think, for all of us. It should be for you as the graduating class of this year. And I want to start by just reflecting on our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and asking all of you a question, because this is one of my favorite stories. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was sitting in a gathering of the Sahaba, and he asked a question. He said, which tree is most like the Muslim? So do any of you have an answer as to which tree is most like the Muslim? I hear it? The date palm. That is correct. Well, in that gathering, there was a young man, and his name was Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhu. And he knew the answer to that question, except he was in a gathering of all of the elders, all of the wise older Sahaba. So you had Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu there, you had Usman radiallahu anhu, you had Umar radiallahu anhu, you have all of these prominent Sahaba, and this young man decided to keep his mouth shut. And on the way away from that gathering, he told his father, he said, I knew the answer to that question when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had asked that question. I knew the answer. And he said, قُلْ يَا ابْنَ أَخِي وَلَا تَحَقِّرْ نَفْسَكَ. Speak up and don't be shy. So that is what you should take from this. If you know the answer, if you know what is right, have the courage, have the principles to be able to speak up when you know. Do not think for one moment that your age is a limiting factor. Because one of the most prominent Sahabi was Anas ibn Malik radiallahu anhu. And he was a very young child when his mother gave him to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the Medina period. In that period, he stayed with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he followed each and every step. He was with him. He was his servant, if you will. But he noted so many ahadith, and some of the most significant ahadith that we follow today are transmitted by that young man. May Allah be pleased with him and his family. And he, by the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he lived to a very old age. And I will ask you again, can anybody tell me how old was Anas ibn Malik radiallahu anhu when he passed away? Roughly. I heard it from out here. It was 103. He was 103 when he passed away, and he was, I believe he was with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam from a very young age. So what is the point here? MashaAllah, even since I was growing up here, this has been run by volunteers. Yes, the people have changed, but the spirit of volunteerism has continued. And so while some of those people are no longer around, the spirit of what they began and what they started is still here. And this is what it is all about. People will not remember us by name in 50 years, in 100 years. We won't be known for that. But what did we contribute to any situation? And I would say that the best thing you can contribute as Muslims, as American Muslims living in this society, the best thing that you can contribute are your principles. Anybody can be excellent at what they do, whether it is in engineering or medicine or law. Anybody can do that. But what we need now are people who have ethics, people who have principles. And this is what you get from here. The volunteers, the teachers, the staff, what they have given you, what they have paved the path for you, and your friends are to give you principles. You hold fast to those principles and do not waver from those principles. We have a strong example in our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam who has taught us to stand firm on what you believe in. And you stand firm on that regardless of what barriers are put in front of you. And I'll leave you with this, that the walls in our life are put up for one reason, are for you to prove to yourself that what you are trying to get through and get to is worth it. So don't be discouraged by barriers that are placed in front of you in your life, because you're going to have many barriers. And the thing about the beauty about life is that we don't get a chance to pick what our challenges are in life. Somebody may have a cancer. Somebody may lose a parent. Somebody may lose a child at a very young age. Somebody may lose their job. But what do you have? What can somebody never, ever take away from you? They can never take away your dignity and your principles. The Sahaba were being tortured. They were being abused. And did they waver from what they believed in? They did not. And this is what you should take. And inshallah, may Allah bless all of you. I am so inspired by what I see here, and to see all of the organization. I mean, looking at these numbers here, 1, 2, 3, 4. I sat in the 1 because I want to be with the first graders. I always want to be with the first graders, because the Prophet ﷺ, he also said that if you're looking for me, you can find me around the people who are needy. So if it's a widow, the children, the Prophet ﷺ was with those who were weaker in the society, if you will. So be people of principle, stand up for what you believe in, and be courteous and kind at the same time. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all of you. Assalamu alaikum.